Yeah. Come on in. We here. We here. Black Panther, bridging the gap. Yeah, that's what we got going on. First and foremost, let me look at Beelzebub and say, you tried it. You tried it. And you tried it. We're not knocking off the hustle today. We believe this video today is significant. We do. YouTube algorithms will tell us whether or not that's been validated later on. Not tell them. I ask difficult questions. And while I cannot promise that this live won't be riddled with difficult questions, what I can promise you is that this live is a safe space. Yeah. You can be pro recast. You can be anti recast. You can be anti recast. You can be pro recast. You can be MCU fan. You can be comic book fan. You can be comic book fan. You can be MCU fan. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. Because as the video says, kings build bridges. We don't murder. Kings build bridges. No matter how much we want to. You never know when you need to cross that bridge. Your damn self. We got Nightella and we got Ronnie. Y'all know how I get down. If we got two, we got a crew. And that's enough to make it do what it's going to do. So I said what I meant. I meant what I said. This is a safe space. It is what it is. I want to do an exercise, if you will. I want to look at what the commonalities are as opposed to what differences are. Right? And it'd be nice. This be one of them times. And I think we had a little bit of that last night. If y'all didn't catch the live, me and my brother Dora did last night on Friday Night Vibes. We had Miss Ty over there. She of the Guinness Book of World Records, having the most Black Panther merch, point blank, period. Let me just go ahead and say that. The most, over 2,500 pieces authorized. I'm sorry, I said 2,500. I'm sorry. I want to say 25,000 pieces authorized by the Guinness Book of World Records. That's official. Unofficially, it's 4-something. 4-something. Made me question my love, my passion for Black Panther. Like, you think you got it, and then you see her, you like, oh. So that's what a Black Panther fan looks like. Shout out to Art Man Customs. He said the same damn thing. She made him feel underwhelmed. Like, God, I thought I was a Black Panther fan. Yeah, so Queen doing her thing and everything. Miss Ty, thank you so much for being on the show last night. And she's part of the reason for this video, honestly. She is. Black Panther fan, knew of the character from the outside, but when the MCU brings the character to her, she got bam, she got it right there. I don't believe she was the only one. I don't. I don't believe she was the only one that saw that movie and came away with that feeling like this is what Black excellence is all about. I don't believe that. She also said while she does collect the readings, right? Don't necessarily read them. And she's an attorney. She ain't got time. She ain't got time. And I've said that before. I know what I do for a living. And what I do for a living is read comic books. I know, crazy. That's a crazy ass career, ain't it? That's my career. Now, that allows me something, that affords me something that it doesn't afford other people. Like, that's literally my job. Reading comic books, retaining the knowledge, and regurgitating it. That's literally what Lord Jesus have mercy. I don't even know why. I mean, I know why, but I don't know why Marvel Unlimited, like, I don't know why they're not sponsoring me yet. Like, I don't know why that is. I don't. I don't know why that is, because literally they should, because considering I got that monthly subscription up and I be blessing y'all with all that information. You like think so, but you know, I understand. So she doesn't read, and I understand it. The writers might not be reading. Why? Because they write. The actors might not be reading. Why? Because they act. The producers might not be reading. Why? Because they busy producing. The executives might not be reading. Why? Because they executive stuff. However we want to say it. So I get it. I understand it. I do. But you see how I just said I understand that? That understanding got to be across the board. That understanding got to be across the board. That appreciation got to be across the board. That appreciation has to be across the board. Like I just want y'all to know I appreciate every damn thing she had. Even when she did I say she had me questioning my Black Panther fandom? Yes, she did. Not intentionally, but I'm looking like, golly. It's something to be said about that. That movie made such an impact on her that even though she hasn't read the books, she's got them. She got a German version of Fantastic Four issue 52. Like I'm sitting up there like, it's in. First of all, I ain't even know they put Fantastic Four out 52 in German, and she got it. So what would we want? That's a fan, right? Clearly she's showing her appreciation for the character and everything. She got from it what we have been wanting people to get from it. Black excellence. What do we say? Representation, imagery. Have a comment. She knows what that means. So she loves the character. I love the character. Okay. She loves what the actor stands for. Okay, well, so do I. Okay, well, there's some commonality in and of itself right there. Let me keep up with these notes real quick. We got Nitellum and Ronnie in the building. I was just about to tweet today. That's what Nitellum says. She had merch and collectibles in the bathroom, and the Lord have mercy, in the bathroom, in the tub. Like I said, I walked away from the video. I said, "Damn, Theo, you sure you're a Black Panther fan?" I thought I was. I thought I was. Well, you might need to reassess the situation. You know what? You're right. Shout out once again to the Queen, Miss Ty, representing our favorite hero. If I'm not mistaken, I believe she had the 12-inch Okoye, which I think was a Target exclusive. I think, and they would have had I'm thinking Okoye. I know they had Shorty, and I think they had the Queen Mother. I'm not really sure, but that's a Black Panther fan. Like we could put emphasis on the knowledge and everything like that, but she's an attorney. At that, she's an attorney. As Daryl said last night, she got enough to read. She got enough to read. Like, no, you ain't got time. You ain't got time. We do have videos for you though. We got videos for you, and we're gonna spend the block on that in a second. She said she hate reading. Laugh my ass off, but until the movie, she decided to pick up. That's crazy. I just watched that video for a second time on Christmas. Yes, sir. Ronnie says, "Hey, Mr. Theo, I think that the reason why Marvel Unlimited is not sponsoring you is because Kevin Feige." Might be, but You can't be mad at me, excuse the pun, for being a student of the game. Like I'm that's what it is. That's can't be mad. You can, but I'm just saying. I'm like, I got to get my ish together. I was watching that. I can get my shit together. Oh, Miss Ty made me feel like I need to get to her level. Then she make you feel like you need to step your game up. You like, and I want folks to understand. This could have been a whole ass dude. We'd have been feeling the same way. We'd be like, oh man, damn. Because there's no envy there. There's pride there. There's love there. There's affection. There's appreciation. Oh my God. Like you, oh man. I said, you have no idea how you made me feel. You make me feel. It's just the things that you do. It's just the things that you do. It's just the things that you do. It's just the things that you do, the way you do the things you do. Shout out to Will Smith. Those are y'all that have the Summertime LP. I brought back some memories. Might need to listen to that when I get off of here. But yeah, so that's what that is. That's undeniable right there. That's like, I saw the movie. The movie made an impression on me. Black excellence. Damn it, she got it. Lord, with everything else that transpired in the movie that she wasn't aware of because she didn't read the comics. Black excellence, like, if you don't get nothing else, black excellence is what you're supposed to get from it. Damn it. Okay, let's go. All right. So that's what you got. Black excellence. And my mother mine said she ain't just saying them words. No, she know exactly what she means when she says black excellence. As what we strive to be. The example that was set forth. The example that was set forth by her parents. Her mom is retiring from NASA. NASA. Let's let that. You know how folks, you know how we, those of us in our culture, have went above and beyond to discredit the sisters that were responsible for the first. Right. Those of us that claim to be black. Right. Her mom works at NASA. Was retiring from NASA. Like, there's a lineage there. There's a legacy there at NASA of, watch this, black excellence. Yeah, I don't think we could ever have enough of that. Black excellence. You know, it's actually what he stood for. Black excellence. Yeah, crazy. Craziest damn thing. Black excellence. I mean, and she has a shirt with all his quotes on it in the shape of Africa. Did I say she made me feel real? And she has a picture of him in her. Right. So it's safe to say, not only does she love the character and what the character stands for, she wouldn't be the only one. She also loves what the actor stood for as well. Wouldn't be the only one. Now, here's the difference. If we could say there is one, and I'm of the mindset it ain't as, what's the word I want to use? It's not as solid as folks have made it out to be. The only difference is she hasn't read the comics and we have. Now there has to be some type of willingness to understand both sides, because we've all agreed we love the character and the surrounding characters. See how that go? Love the character and the surrounding characters. Kind of how, like, if you are a Spider-Man fan, you love Peter Parker and the surrounding characters like Ned, Mary Jane, and Aunt May, and J. Jonah Jameson. And those are the surrounding characters. Those are, and you want them. You want them. That you got, that's the world building universe. So when you have folks that say we love T'Challa, it's what folks might not be hearing because they might not be used to conversing with comic book fans. We love everything about T'Challa. That includes the world around T'Challa. You can't give us T'Challa and not give us Shuri. No, we looking at you crazy. She got to come. If she don't come with him initially, we need to see her at some point. And you can't just give us any old version of Shuri, because here's what comic book fans have experienced that those who aren't comic book fans haven't. We've seen Shuri grow up. When we were introduced to Shuri, that was Reginald Hudlin. She's young. Okay. He does tell her she wanted to be the Black Panther. He let it be known. Now, there's a reason for that, because he wanted to make a way for his son and daughter to both be able to dress up as his favorite superhero during Halloween. That's Black excellence. Let me make a way out of no way. Right? Right. Okay. Well, we've seen Shuri grow from being that little girl who was running behind her brother, wanted to be exactly like her brother, to standing as a woman independent of her brother altogether, running up, because as I said to Miss Ty last night, we gave her the story, which is coming up, by the way, so make sure you got your notifications on. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because yes, we are in the process right now of telling that story of how Shuri get that get back for Wakanda against Namor using the Phoenix Force, not to be confused with water balloons, to flood Wakanda. So we saw her do that. We saw her stand up to Proxima Midnight. We saw her yell Wakanda forever, defiantly, against all odds. We're not getting that over there in the MCU, but we can tell you as comic book fans, this is what she did. We can tell you as comic book fans, her brother was mourning. Her brother was sick. Her brother was absolutely traumatized by his sister not being there. And he did not let a day go by without trying to find a way to bring her back. That's Black excellence. That's Black excellence. He went, him and Eden Fessy. Y'all ain't seen him. Y'all ain't seen him. But got another brother say, hey, I need your help to bring my sister back from the beyond. Okay, well, if we know Aurora did it for T'Challa, he did it for his sister. That's Black excellence. That's a Black family. He brings his sister back, and when she comes back, she doesn't come back as the Black Panther she was when she left. She comes back as the living, breathing history of Wakanda. That's Black excellence. That's Black excellence. And as I said to Miss Ty last night, I never tell that story to a MCU fan, and they don't prefer that story over what they got in the MCU. Now, they might make an excuse for it, but say what they got in either Black Panther movie was better than what I just said? No. But in what I just said, did I disparage Shuri? Did I make light of the character? Did I disrespect the character? Or did I almost get emotional talking about the character? Like, Shuri's got a bloodlust. as Miss Ty said, now she don't read the comments, but she felt like they tried to rush her through that. If you look at Eric trying to get her to be angry, Eric don't need her to be angry. Shorty is angry about her father being taken from her, as I'm pretty sure many of us would. Please go see Bruce Wayne. She wants to smoke. It's on sight every time she see Claw. That's what that is. Now that was when she was the Black Panther. But if you watching MCU movies and you get giddy, excited when Logan flashes his claws and he goes into his berserker rage, well, sure he got one of them as the Black Panther. Yeah. Let me see. She had to talk to Shannon the She-Devil. She had to talk to Logan. Do you know how bloodthirsty she got to be if she got to go to Logan for counseling? That's literally what she had to do. So why would we know any of that as just T'Challa fans, Black Panther fans, if we don't care about Shuri? And you see how I pronounce her name? I don't say Shuri. I say Shuri. That's the correct pronunciation of her name. It ain't Shuri. That's once again, because I'm putting respect on a fictional character's name. That's Black excellence. That's what that is. So how do we get to the common ground? You love the character, what the character stands for. I love the act, what the actor stood for. I'm of the mindset, if we all can agree that that's what that is, there's some common ground. Now, I know what the uncommon ground is, but if we can agree what the common ground is, then we should be able to agree to what the non-common, uncommon ground is, thus finding a solution so everybody can be happy. The uncommon ground is the actor passed away. Now, we can't say folks that want the character recast don't love the actor, because we just agreed we love the character, we love the actor, we love the actor, we love the character, we love what the character stands for, we love what the actor stands for. That's our common ground. Where the disagreement comes in at is, should the character be recast? Even with that, we should be able to agree that that's the disagreement. Should the character be recast? Okay, so let's do this. And this is where cognitive dissonance cannot come into play. And what I mean when I say that, it can't be you okay with it over here, but you finna find an excuse not to be okay with it over here. I'm finna give some scenarios. Here we go, yo. I'm sorry. Here we go, yo. Sorry. So what's up? So what? Stop. Leaders of the new school trying to take over the video. So Chadwick Boseman passes away. August 28th, 2020. Let me keep up with these notes though before I go any further, because y'all here and I don't want to be disrespectful. Here we go. Let me see here. Kimoyo King, president of the Black Panther fan group, is in the building. My wife saw her collection and said I have to keep everything in my Panther case. Nightellum says Wakanda for never divided us instead of bringing us together, but the comics made sure T'Challa and Shuri are a unit. Yep. Even Logan was a little concerned. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we agree. Even on what we disagree on, we agree that we disagree on. So August 28, 2020. There are some facts here that I would just take our feelings and our emotions and just park them off to the side. Fast and the Furious franchise. Brian O'Connor, that's the character. Paul Walker, that's the actor. They were in the midst of production, i.e. filming, when Paul Walker tragically lost his life in an automobile accident. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, that automobile accident took place over the weekend, specifically Saturday. I don't think we could ever question some could, the relationship between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. As a matter of fact, I don't think we could question the relationship of that entire cast and crew. You know, you saw them a lot together, not just on set, not just on set. No, you saw them outside when they weren't filming. And if I'm not mistaken, Vin Diesel walked Paul Walker's daughter down the aisle. I could be wrong, but that's excellence. They were in the midst of filming. They shut down production. I know way too much about funerals. Whether we're talking mother, whether we're talking aunt, whether we're talking grandparents, whether we're talking best friend, I know way too much about funerals. I know more than I want to know. I've been to the funerals of a coworker. I have. I was in mourning. Me and the coworker were cool. We chopped it up. Cool young lady. Cool young lady. Me and her best friend were more than cool. So, and when I say that, her female friend, when we were, you know, kicking the bobo and everything like that. So I had a relationship to a degree outside of work with her. I was hurt when she lost her life, tragically enough, in an automobile accident. Her and her mother were on the way to see Steve Harvey performing, I want to say in Jacksonville, Florida. And the way they described it, even after having the tires checked, her tire exploded. So I went to that funeral. I went to that funeral. I won't mention the young lady's name, but I will say that young lady's favorite snack, if I'm not mistaken, was Lay's potato chips. I want to say Ridges, Ruffles, sour cream Ruffles were her favorite potato chips. And I know this because she used to get mad at her boyfriend for always eating her chips and dip. She would come to work mad at that dude. So I know something about funerals. I've been way too many as far as I'm concerned. That cast and crew had to bury their friend. And yes, there is a difference. They had to bury their friend. Now, what that cast and crew did was, he has two siblings, right? They brought them in to finish filming his role, right? We can say what we want to about the CGI, special effect. Say what you want to. At the end of the day, we knew, though, going into that movie that Paul Walker was no longer with us. We walked into that movie, regardless of him showing up in that movie, we knew they didn't finish the movie with him. We didn't. How did they honor him? Because, yeah, we could talk about differences in honoring and everything like that. But I'm saying this to both sides, whether you pro recast, anti recast. I'm of the mindset that we all like us some Fast and Furious. Now, yeah, they didn't got a little bit ridiculous and everything like that. But I'm of the mindset we all like us some Fast and Furious. I'm of the mindset more than enough of us went to go see that movie. That specific one right there, knowing that Paul Walker was no longer with us. Spirit, yes. On this plane of existence, no, he was not. Anybody besides me get misty-eyed at the end of the movie? Anybody else find themselves doing this right here? You know, when you see, and tell me this don't pull on your emotional heartstrings while I'm describing it to you. As you see him get in the car, the casting crew, the song doesn't help. The song that they got playing when he get in the car, that don't help. Because you sitting up here like, damn, I don't want to feel like this. I'm a whole grown ass man. I already know what happened to Buddy. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to do this. I got my date with me and everything like that, or I'm with my homeboys, and I'm finna sit up here and start looking real, real soft in front of my homeboy. Yeah. You get that voiceover by Vin Diesel. We didn't need that. That just made it worse. You got the cars riding side by side. Well, this is how we came into the franchise. Now they finna go their separate ways. And you know, as a Fast and Furious fan, you know, as a Brian O'Connor fan, you know, as a Paul Walker fan, what that scene signifies. They sent him home. The fairy tale story. They sent Brian Connor home to be with his wife and 2 children. I can't speak for anybody else. But if we change the ethnicity of that family dynamic, you know, have it originate from Africa. Well, all folks originate from Africa, but you know what I mean? That would be Black excellence. That's him riding off into the sunset. There's that example. Now, what you're not going to do is tell me that didn't move you, that didn't make you feel some type of way. You're not going to tell me you don't feel like that was respectful to the character and the actor. You would be lying, and I know you would, because you ain't never complained about that ending. Nobody has ever complained about that ending. If there's a complaint, it's always on the CGI. I'm going to get with these notes, and then I'm going to come back to the next example. Let's see here. Grand Madam Taro's in the building. What's going on, Grand Madam? So the next example, and it's a plethora of these examples, and you've experienced them. You have. You could be my daughter that's 25 years old, and you've experienced a character being recast because the actor passed away. And you ain't never said nothing. You ain't, whether we talking Lord of the Rings, whether we talking Spartacus, whether we talking Harry Potter, whether we talking Superman, whether we talking Batman, whether we talking General Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk, you've seen it. Characters, whether you feel like they're impactful or not, those characters do have a fan base. You're just not a fan of them. Those characters have been recast. And I ain't the only one that then went to go see the movies. Now, let's be fair. I came in with George Reeves. That's who I was watching as Superman before Christopher Reeve took over the role. Took over the role. George was gone. That was a recast. I don't remember anybody in my age group pressed about that recast. It was a recast. Nobody said a word. And if you're my age, how many Supermen have you seen? Okay, well, Christopher passed away. Pause. There was a horseback riding accident first. Let's look at how DC honored Christopher Reeve from the time he was paralyzed. We get the news report. Then you get a special. I watched it. You do. We don't do anything with the character. It was 5 years after he passed. I want to say it was 12 to 15 years before we got another Superman movie, but it was exactly 5 from the year he passed away. Okay? Passed away. We wait 5 years. You know what was so odd about this? Waiting a 5-year period, because when you hear folks say different universe, Brandon Routh comes in and plays the exact same Kal-El, Clark Kent, Superman that Christopher Reeve. No, this wasn't no different universe. This was Superman Returns. He was coming back. That was nobody said a word. I still don't hear nobody saying nothing. We can feel how we want to feel about the writing, but that's what we got. And nobody object. I don't remember reading nothing. I remember stuff talking about, hey, Brandon Routh is our new Superman, and folks getting geeked, folks getting stoked. But I don't remember reading nothing about folks talking about, oh, hell no, we don't want this. That was the same Superman. Same one. Okay. That's 2, right? I'm gonna keep up with the notes and I'm gonna come with the next one. I love the cast and crew from the Fast and Furious. This comes from Ronnie. Because kept the character alive, they kept the character alive even after Paul Walker passed. Even they mentioned him in the next movie after Paul Walker passed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get to this third example. Like I said, I think we've agreed that we love both actor and character, right? And I think we've all agreed on where the disagreement comes in it, right? Right. So it's these other examples, and I'm going to give you the third one. The third one, General Thunderbolt Ross. That one's real weird because the hoopla that was made about Chadwick Boseman, his contributions, nobody said anything about William Hurt. I like Chadwick Boseman as an actor better than I like William Hurt, but William the one that got hardware on his trophy case as far as his acting accomplishments. Nobody said a word. Nobody talked about he been playing Thunderbolt Ross for a minute. Yeah, I know somebody played it in another Hulk movie, but in the MCU, that's it. He was that as Thunderbolt Ross. He was. But I said a word. They brought Harrison Ford right on in there. And if we're being consistent, nobody can replace Chadwick. That's what was kept. That's what was being said. That energy was never kept for William Hurt. If you're an anti-recaster, and you absolutely can be, there's nothing wrong with that, but there should at the very least be some consistency because you're an anti-recaster. We've already agreed that we love the actor and love the character. We've already agreed on that. So in that agreement, why is it you don't want for your favorite character what another character is getting? I'm just asking the question. Now, mind you, let's go back to that second example that I was talking about. If you love the actor, and we've agreed on that, well, if we go back to that second example, Christopher Reeve, okay, his son was in the latest Superman movie. They talk about a third movie. Anybody heard anything about Derek or Kevin being in the third movie? Because nobody said anything about Derek and Kevin being in the second movie. I know Derek went to go watch the second movie. Kevin wasn't going to do that. Kevin, I'm good. I'm good on all that. But I got Paul Walker's brothers standing in for him in the Fast and Furious franchise. I got Christopher Reeve family being acknowledged by the Superman franchise, son in the movie. Not just his son in the movie. They did a they did a movie biopic on Christopher Reeve. They did a movie biopic on Christopher Reeve. I think we both said we've agreed that we are fans of the actor. That's what we said. We said we're fans of the actor. Christopher Reeve's son showed up in the Superman movie. They made sure to do interviews with his son leading up to the Superman movie, so you would know good and well the Reeve family was all in. All in. And you got a movie biopic about Christopher Reeve. So you know, they like, hey, just so y'all know, we ain't got no issues. We love the Christopher Reeve family. Okay, well, I know Derek was at D2, D12, whatever they want to call it. And I remember him saying his mother and father were superheroes too. I know why he said that. At the very least, I got a great idea why he said, because there was no need to interject that in there. No, he was trying to send a message. Now, whether or not you caught it is totally up to you. But he said mother and father. You know what that is? That's Black excellence. That's what that is. You know who raised Chad? His mother, father, and Derek. Being the older sibling. You know what that is? That's old school Black excellence right there. And you don't like that? You don't like that right there? So going back to the second example, I went back there for a reason. We didn't do none of this over here. Well, shout out to Marvel comic books. The Wakandan helicarrier, the Bozeman, is flying over Wakanda even as we speak. But now it's been flying over Wakanda before we got Black Panther 2. Did anybody, and God knows they could have used the Bozeman helicarrier in Black Panther 2. Like, yeah. I'd prefer to see the Bozeman helicarrier in Black Panther 2 before seeing that barge. Yeah. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. You asking me which one I want to see, the Bozeman helicarrier taking on at, well, no, I'm not going to call it that other stuff. The Bozeman helicarrier taking on Atlantis, or do I want to see the Doras attacking, what was it called? Taloka in a barge. I think it's safe to see what that is. And as a Black Panther fan, because we both, right? That was the other thing that we admitted. We admitted that we love the character and we love the actor. We love the actor and we love the character. Okay, so why would that be what we wanted? Wait, you saying, well, we say Black Panther, that was about T'Challa. Oh, should it? Which story you would have wanted? Because this is really about bridging the gap. But since that's what kings do, you like Shorty, I like Shorty. You love Shorty, I love Shorty. So which story is better to you? The Queen Mother Ramunda drowning, saving Riri Williams, and then Shorty taking the synthetic heart-shaped herb, seeing Eric in the Dahlia, not her brother, not her mama, not her daddy. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. She see Eric, and Eric is the one that's able to convince her to be angry enough. Once again, not her brother, not her mama, not her daddy. One, I don't even know how Eric was in the Diabolical. Why? Because he was never blessed by bass. That's a different conversation for a different video. That ain't what we get in the comics. We got Shorty being the Black Panther, taking the organic heart-shaped herb. She was already the Black Panther. Shorty leads a Wakanda armada down to Atlantis, slaughtering. Which story? That's a queen. That's a queen. Her brother was like, what we finna do? We finna go to war. They gonna pay for this. Standing on business. You know how we say that right now in our culture? Standing on business. Shorty was standing on business. Now, mind you, she at the council meeting talking about, well, Atlantis say they want peace. What y'all think? This T'Challa. Because he know what's going on. I think maybe we should listen to him. What the other council members? Damn all that. Damn all that. No, they attacked us on a public stage. We need to get that get back on a public stage. Should like say less. Say which one which one got your heart pumping? Seeing that queen with folks on a barge, on a beach. I know folks geeked up because she cut his wings and everything like that, but it did. That armada going down to Atlantis, and you see bodies just floating in water. You see a few high toot here and there, high toot. But by and large, oh no, Shorty didn't got that. She got all that. Now, you're going to have to wait till I do the other comic book review to tell you how, because Namor was like, damn, I thought we had a deal. You ain't had no deal with my sister. Shorty ran him that fade. That's what we talk about in our culture. We got both of them, right? That's what I know as a recaster about the excellence of Shorty. That's not me talking down on her. Which story sound better to you though? Which story sound better? I know, I get it. We know what we agree on. You're saying at this particular point in time, we want T'Challa to wait. We don't want to do a recast. I mean, it's been 5 years ago, but if you'd read the comics and heard the recasters, what we were saying is just don't delete it. Now, the same story that introduces Shorty as the Black Panther has T'Challa in a coma. So now I would ask the question, if we know the truth, know there can be two, at the same time, we know their feats, their accomplishments, we know the story. Aurora saved him, he saved her, Sion saved Queen Mother Ramunda. We know she is a scientific genius. We know she also can put hands on folks. But we also know we've had both. We've seen other folks get both. We got a Supergirl movie coming up right now. Once again, we had a recast. Henry Cavill's still around, but we got a recast. Now, what do those recasts do that I'm trying to figure out what we don't want for us as a people, as a culture, as an ethnicity? Shout out once again to Miss Ty. I'm of the mindset that because she's a Black Panther fan. Now, what she'll be able to do, because you know, with children and the way they look at it, that's a whole museum. What she'll be able to do is just showing you what she has, is inspire you to want to learn. But now you got to want to learn yourself. But what are you learning? Are you learning that you deserve what everybody else deserves, or are you learning that you don't? Once again, we've already agreed. We've even agreed on what we disagree on. But in doing that, I've also laid out 3 examples. I've laid out the Paul Walker example. I've laid out the George Reeves and Christopher Reeve example as one. And I've laid out the William Hurt example. That's the 3rd one. They're all different, similar, because we still got recast with each and every last one of them. You cannot say the actor didn't want the character recast. That you can't. That's a lie. You cannot say that the actor did not believe in everybody, not just one or a few, but everybody, because you read them quotes, if not heard them. Because you are a Chadwick Boseman fan, no differently than I am. Then why is it, with us agreeing on those 3 examples, with us agreeing on what we don't agree on, explain to me like I'm in the 3rd grade, because it's been 5 years. It's going on 6. When Black Panther 3 comes out, that will be what, 7? 2020. Black Panther 3 is supposed to come out to 2028. You say, wait a while. Well, I like that song by Janet Jackson. Let's wait a while. Okay. Because what are we doing? What are we doing? What we're doing right now, you know the actor like I know the actor. That doesn't represent the actor. You know the character like I know the character. Because you said the character and the actor and the character. You love them both. Well, you know the character got more stories to tell. You've been an MCU fan. You're consuming MCU content. You watched X-Men 97. And if you watched X-Men 97, it's safe to say you watched the X-Men back in the day. Safe to say you probably watched the Fantastic Four back in the day, which means you can't even explain that episode of X-Men 97. And you know exactly what episode I'm talking about. We still got Red Hulk though, right? We still got Thunderbolt Ross. And we ain't ever got to ask no questions about that, right? You don't have to ask no questions about where Brian O'Connor at. Brian O'Connor is at home. You know where he at, right? Right. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Superman. Oh, well, I know folks can feel how they want to feel about that second Superman movie. That's Clark Kent. So you're going to get you another Superman movie. But you're going to get you a Supergirl movie too. Imagine that. Superman fans will get a Superman and a Supergirl movie. Baby boomers and Generation X will be able to have conversations with their grandchildren, if not go to the movies with their grandchildren and tell their grandchildren about them superheroes. Those grandparents will have comic books from back in the day when they were their grandchildren's age, and they will share those stories. Share those stories. Share those stories like a griot shares stories. You don't want that? You don't think you deserve that? When you talk to your children, your grandchildren, about the first time you went to go see a Black Panther movie, you're not gonna remember that Chadwick Boseman played it? Play it, the role, the character. You're not gonna remember? You're not gonna be able to tell them that he was the reason they were speaking Swahili and Xhosa in the movie. You're not gonna be able to tell them that. You're not gonna be able to tell them that he was getting up, learning those lines, even when he was in pain. You're not gonna be able to tell them that. Why not? You don't want the character recast. I do, and I can tell them that. You're not gonna be able to tell them anything about his interview, his series interview when he was talking about the little boys? You not? Why not? You're not gonna be able to tell them about when he did Dear what was the song, him and the homeboy and everything like that. You're not gonna be able to tell them that he graduated with a degree in directing. When you talk about Black Panther 2, you should be able to talk about Chadwick Boseman, right? So you're gonna be able to talk about the stuff that he did. You're not gonna be able to tell them that he wrote a play for one of his friends who got deleted in high school. You're not. You should be able to. Because that takes away nothing from Chadwick Boseman. If anything, that keeps his legacy alive. That character can get recast all day long, all day, every day, twice on Sunday. You know who keeps Chadwick Boseman's memory alive and well? Those of us who remember the accomplishments of Chadwick Boseman. Just like those who remember the accomplishments of George Reeves, Christopher Reeve, Brandon Routh, Henry Cavill, and right now I cannot remember the last dude's name, but yeah. There you go. Keep up with these notes. Let's see here. Getting back to not tell them, we literally had 3 Spider-Man in speech. Yeah, we did. Be nice. I know there's a storyline out there with at least 2 different T'Challas. What's going on, Christopher Priest? Ain't gonna ever get that one. No, not at all. We literally had 3 Spider-Mans in one movie and 3 Batmans in another movie. How did we community get fooled so easily to accept T'Challa's passing? Stockholm syndrome. Stop. Easy answer, short term. Stockholm syndrome. William Hurt, who? LOL. That's how they're treating him, like he didn't exist. Right there. That's from Not Tell Him. Kimoyo says, I said it right after he left us that Marvel would try to Bruce Lee Chadwick with T'Challa so that he would always be memorized for profit like Bruce was, which is crazy because honestly, the more accurate Black Panther story of T'Challa, I said it once, I say it again. And those of us, I have yet for a comic book fan to tell me that I'm lying. That's the damnest thing. When I make this statement, no comic book fan argues with me. We got a better T'Challa in Message from the King than we got in anything MCU related. If you telling me you're a Chadwick Boseman fan and you ain't watched Message from the King, because if you telling me you're a Chadwick Boseman fan and that you're also a Black Panther fan, you should be able to see the similarities between Jacob King and T'Challa from the comics. You should be like, oh yeah. And the fact that the character's last name is King. I find so much irony that T'Challa ain't getting no retribution over there in the MCU. Jacob King did. They deleted T'Challa's father in the MCU, and T'Challa told Zemo what? The living are not done with you yet? That's not what Jacob King said over there in Message from the King. Oh no, you did that to his sister? Okay. Don't even worry about it. I almost want to think, because this could be me just being petty. I almost want to think Chadwick Boseman read the David List run. What say, Theo? You come in, you got a different alias. You ain't using no high-tech gadgetry. You ain't. All you got is a chain and you whooping with it. You whooping with it. Folks don't know who you are. Even us as the viewers, till you get on the plane and go back home. Just to find out you've been a detective this whole damn time. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Kimoyo says, let me see here, get back to the notes in the right order. Now tell him says William Hurt was Ross for much longer than Chadwick was T'Challa. So where is they kept the party rolling. William Hurt fans say, yeah, William would want, yeah. William wouldn't be against no recast. William is a well-respected actor. He know how these things go. They kept the party right on rolling. Sure did. Let's see here. Kimoyo says, I believe Chadwick's brother offered to step in for some scenes. If you're talking about Kevin, the one who was on Dances with the Stars, who's also a cancer survivor, Kevin Nicewith, who also has a few albums out, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin Nicewith. Could have did that. They could have did that. Right. Where is Derek Bozeman in Wakanda? I'm not gonna make no assumptions as to why he wasn't in it. We know Christopher's son was in the Superman movie, doing what he does in real life, reporting. That's what he was doing. I don't know why. We just know it wasn't nobody though. All I know is he went to go see it. Everybody was in all white, and we need to stop acting like this wasn't no going home service for Chadwick Boseman. This ain't had nothing to do with T'Challa. So this was a going home service for Chadwick Boseman and a piss poor story written for Shuri becoming the Black Panther. So all I know is he walked out. Somebody asked him how he felt, and he used the word. And the way he used the word, I had to look it up. Because I had never heard the word used in the form in which he used it. So and I totally got that. I totally got that. Because if y'all rocking with me on Facebook, y'all saw me get emotional on Thursday. I'm still grieving. My mother passed away a month before my 14th birthday. I ain't stopped mourning yet. I'm so sorry. ain't no time limit, but it don't mean I can't move. I can't move forward. I don't have a choice. Time waits for nobody. That's close to a Chadwick Boseman quote. But no, I'm mourning, but I can't act like life don't go on. It does. It does. And if I'm honoring my mother's memory, which is crazy, because if I'm honoring my mother's memory, then I'm doing what I'm doing right now for the reasons that I'm supposed to be doing it, which is bringing our people together. That's why we do this for real, for real. There should be some commonality here. Because while we all agree how we feel, we didn't get what everybody else got. You didn't want the character to be recast? Okay, cool. I can't tell you they're going to recast Brian O'Connor. What I can tell you is they didn't delete the character. That character's parked right over there. And they keep mentioning the character in every movie since then, so you don't forget the character. And you not forgetting the character, guess what? You don't forget the last person to play the character. See how that goes? But when we talk about Black excellence, there's a distinct difference between Brian O'Connor and T'Challa. Brian O'Connor has 2 children by his wife, boy and girl. That's excellence. T'Challa didn't marry Nakia. That's canon. We didn't have to write it like that. We could have very easily written it that T'Challa married Nakia. We didn't write it like that. No differently than we could have wrote that T'Challa was in a coma. We didn't write it like that. We could have wrote that T'Challa went stateside. We didn't write it like that. We could have said what they said about Captain America, Steve Rogers, in the very first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. T'Challa's on the moon, kicking the bobo with Steve. We didn't write it like that. We deleted it For what? Chadwick Boseman represents Black excellence. That's how I feel. You feel how you want to feel. I feel like he represents Black excellence, and not just him, honestly. But I couldn't have learned about Chadwick Boseman without learning about his family. Derek Boseman represents Black excellence. His brother, a cancer survivor, that's Black excellence. I don't know what to tell you. His mother and father going to school, providing a home that they did for the children, that was literally the damn nuclear family. Hell, that is the common day nuclear family. I don't know how to feel good about that. Like that's Black excellence. It's what that is. Okay. Then we should be able to have both. What do you mean, Theo, when you say that? We should be able to both honor Chadwick Boseman, and honestly, because I don't need permission to do it, if you respect the actor, love what the actor stood for, you should be standing 10 toes down for the actor from now to the day God call you home. And that don't require a Black Panther movie for you to do it. It don't require you to watch not one Black Panther movie for you to represent that dude. It don't. Just like representing T'Challa doesn't necessarily mean you have to call Chadwick Boseman's name. 1966. 1966. Vice 1978. 76. Their stories are independent of one another. You can rep both. But to rep both, here's the thing. I think it's disrespectful to put Chadwick Boseman in the box as just being Black Panther, because to some of us, he means more than Black Panther. Let me say that one more time. To some of us, he means more than what he's done as a man trumps him playing the role of Black Panther. T'Challa ain't did what Chadwick Boseman ain't done with his life. And if you don't know it, that's a problem. But there are things you should be able to stand behind that Chadwick Boseman did that have nothing to do with T'Challa. Still Black excellence. But you should be able to do both. You should. You can. You can rep Chadwick Boseman and rep T'Challa, and they be independent of one another. Chadwick Boseman only played T'Challa for how many movies? And only one of them was his. And he didn't even have that much screen time as the lead character in that movie. But now, Message from the King was 21 Bridges. I got me some Chadwick Boseman. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. I'm gonna keep over these notes and I'm gonna get on up out of here. Let me see here. Miss May Kent, good evening. Kevin Boseman is Chadwick's older brother. He's an actor. Yes, he is. Appreciate it. I thought Chadwick was the middle child. I could be wrong. They should have kept Atlantis and not made them. There's a lot of troubling connotations there. It is, and the older ones have mentioned it. Kugler bossed that movie, which shows that Chadwick carried the first film even with limited screen time. You know, it'd be one of them things when you look at that movie with not the, if you go back and sit back and look at Black Panther, not for the love, appreciation, and admiration that you have for the character, the years of frustration of wanting to see that character come to the big screen or small screen, whatever, just live action. When you sit back and you look at it the way you're supposed to, when folks say to me that that movie was impactful and culturally impactful and everything like that, it was culturally impactful to Miss Ty. To her, it was. Her. it did something for her. It's right there. But way too many folks that talk about how much they love that movie and gain nothing by it. My biggest issue with when folks say how culturally impactful Black Panther was, my biggest issue with that statement being made is that there are two real languages, African, being spoken in that movie. I'm willing to bet you, since that movie came out, watch where I go with this one. You've had both of them since both movies came out. I'm of the mindset, a movie where we got Xhosa and Swahili being spoken, two real African languages. I'm of the mindset, more of us that saw both movies, not just one, or hell, even every live action movie that T'Challa and Shuri have been in. I'm of the mindset there are more of us that have called each other the B word and the N word than call somebody Baba. Don't even know what Baba means. But you know what that other B word mean, and you know what the N word mean. And those words are burned in on your tongue to the point where you can't replace them. But Baba, where you got a young man talking respectfully to his father, using a language from the motherland. We ain't pressed to learn it. But you know what we have learned since then? We didn't learn how to call our younger brothers, our young children, our young men, YNs. That's what we've learned. I don't, you know, you ready? I could be wrong. I don't see the actor using that word to address his younger brothers. And I don't see the character using that word to address younger brothers, whether they African or African American. But here's the other thing. I don't necessarily think Chadwick Boseman would use the N-word. Derek and Kevin would have to vouch for that. But I don't, because he didn't move like that. But then again, I know T'Challa not talking like that. We can have both. We can respect both. We can admire both. We can look up to both without taking away from either or. They've learned to do that with Brian O'Connor. They've learned to do that with Kal-El. And just recently, they learned to do that with Thaddeus Ross. Well, I'd like to think we deserve no less. Let's see here. Placing Killmonger in Ancestral Plane was a bad idea. Queen Mother should have been speaking to her daughter. Hell, Bash should have been introduced. You know what? You ready? Watch this, Miss Kent. Queen Mother Ramona shouldn't have never been deleted. There should not have been an Njobu. We get to the spirit realm. We want to put Letitia right there. Okay, cool. Well, the dude that played the younger version of T'Chaka is still alive. And so's his dad. So somebody would have to tell me with the actor that played her father, both of them, the younger version and the older version, somebody would have to tell me why she didn't, and mind you, Angela Bassett is still alive. Somebody would have to tell me why they didn't have that, why we needed Michael B. Jordan in that movie. Why do we see how they mentioned T'Challa? You see how they mentioned T'Challa at all? Why that wasn't what that was? What was it? And see, this makes me go back to, if you say you're a Chadwick Boseman fan, he talked about all of us, not just one of us. Well, why is it always the same actor time after time after time after time, even when it doesn't make sense from a storytelling standpoint? And I don't even like saying that because that comes across like I don't like. No, that comes across as somebody who respects Angela Bassett, the character she played, the other two actors that played T'Chaka, and the character T'Chaka itself. And as I stated before, I went to school. Some of us got a degree in producing, directing. Some of us got a degree in directing. Some of us got a degree in writing. Well, we always look at the person who got the degree in writing and say, it was him who made Black Panther 2. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell y'all, but that ain't, mine is in writing. And that, I'd have gave that story a damn F. Oh, no, let me stop. Black Panther, the first movie would have got a D. Would have got a D. Would have got a D. The second one definitely would have got an F. Definitely. They had to send that back in. Placing kills, yeah. So yeah, that's how I feel about that whole Eric thing. That made no sense. That was just what we want to call it, fandom. Not following the comic is a big mistake. Here's what I would say to that, Miss Kent, because I want people to understand, because when they have a tendency to think I say one thing, well, actually have a tendency to think I mean one thing. The comic books are the source. Nobody is calling for a one-for-one adaptation. Nobody has ever called for that. But the best comic book stories, whether we're talking animation or live action, are based on the source material. Not loosely, because loosely get you loosely in trouble. Not loosely, no, based on the source material. And as comic book fans, we're prepared to do some stuff that you can't do with a Harry Potter fan. So you got to do damn near one-for-one over there. Lord of the Rings, you got damn to do one-for-one. Stephen A. King, you got to damn to do one-for-one. Over here, because we understand the nuances of the characters and the powers, the setting of the story, we're not necessarily looking for one-for-one, but what we are looking for is respect for the source. Avengers, the first movie, was not one-for-one. It did respect the source. Loki brought them together. They came together to take on a common enemy neither one of them could take on alone. He had already hypnotized Clint. He was whooping Cap's ass. he was. He didn't stand down till Tony got there. But we know why he stood down, because he wanted to get next to Bruce so he could have Bruce go back crazy. Well, low key, pun intended, that's the first issue of Avengers, except instead of having Hawkeye and Black Widow, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp. We know why we ain't got Ant-Man and the Wasp in the first Avengers movie. You probably ain't got the sci-fi to keep up with that. So we'll take them two. See how they go? Ramona should not have died. Yeah. What story were they even telling in Black Panther 3 post-Doomsday? What story are you even telling in Black Panther 3 post-Doomsday? Oh, I don't. I know it ain't gonna have nothing to do with. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. Bring Nate Moore back as producer. Let me stop. He needs a job. Yeah, that's me being respectful. I was told, I was raised, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing. So I ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. They want to easily manipulate it to protect their messed up decision by using grief to drive the narrative. I can't do that. Like I said, I didn't been to too many of them, too many funerals, and I didn't seen way too many recasts and everything. Them 3 examples right there. Yeah, I can't. They can try, but I can't. But like I said, we building bridges. So I think we're trying to show we got some similarities with the anti-recasters and everything like that. And I'm thinking if they like the character, like the actor, like the character, they know they deserve better than what they're getting. I'm thinking. Hope. Nate and Ryan and Kevin Feige can all leave forever. See, that's why I can't get no sponsorship with Marvel Unlimited. Stuff like that right there. Come on, yo. Come on, y'all feel the same way about them. They don't respect the comics. I don't understand that. I don't understand that whole thing about not respecting the comics. I ain't never got that. I ain't never understood that. Like they was talking about the dude that did it. Welcome to Derry. How much of a Stephen King fan he is? Like I don't even know how to do that, because I'm like, even with what we got going on, there's stuff being said about this that we don't do over here. Somebody like Mark, oh no, that's a red flag. That makes me feel like it's an insecure thing. It makes me feel like somebody's insecure. You make X amount of dollars, and so you don't want somebody coming in that don't make what you want. You're probably looking down on them and everything like that, telling you how the story should go. Well, read the damn story then. If you don't want nobody telling you, read it. Like if you don't want nobody telling you, it shouldn't be a red flag if somebody know the comics. It's a red flag if you're in charge and you don't know the comics. It's a red flag if you're in charge and you don't even respect the comics. That's the red flag. That's the red flag. Nate saying they don't hire. Miss Kent, I still to this day don't even understand that. Russo's actually read the source material. They like to change things too much though. Yeah, because I'm gonna see how this is gonna play out. But Theo, what you mean? Oh no, I'm not going to go see the movie. That plot don't read well though. Now, with the plot not reading well, you need to know the bootleg can make its way around town 24 to 48 hours after the fact. But the thing is you got movie folks crunk, excited. You do. They excited. But you ain't got, and see, here's the thing. Folks know when you glazing, and folks know when you talking sense. When you glaze, you never see anything wrong with an MCU project. Oh no, you're hyped. You're always hyped about an MCU project, regardless of how the plot reads, regardless of the characters involved, regardless of the actors involved. When it comes to MCU saying they're dropping the project, you always hyping it up. It don't be till after the fact, or week, 2-3 weeks later, when the results are undeniable. Oh, well, they had this problem here and it had it. No, some of us don't talk like that. We be just, that's going to be a problem. Now, you writing this right here? Yeah, that don't make sense. It's going to be a problem. The general audience, you think they stupid? Kendrick told you, the fans are not slow. They going to pick up on that because they going to ask us, hey, was I tripping? Because I got asked the question last night. Fans of the MCU, they looking at stuff like this. The storyline with Bucky didn't make no sense. That's from somebody who don't know who he is in the comics. All they know is based on how his story ended in that one movie, Black Panther, what was it, Civil War? We finna take care of it. His storyline, his story arc, all the way over to Falcon and the Winter Soldier made no damn sense to a casual audience member. They got questions. Who you think they asked? Did they ask the folks that didn't know, i.e. another person who don't read comics? Did they ask those who say anybody that read comics sends us a red flag? Or did they ask the comic book fan, hey, what's Bucky's story? I'm confused. What's going on with him supposed to be the White Wolf? Now, how we thinking this story go when I say who Bucky is and who the White Wolf is? Now you the casual audience member and you doing this. Well, why did they? Right. We've been asking why did they for quite some time now. Well, why did they? Grand Madam, the lovely Grand Madam Tara was in the building. Bad should have played a more prominent role in Wakanda. You know, the fact that I didn't go see Thor Love and Thunder and the fact that I ain't seen Thor Love and Thunder, I didn't even know Bass was there for that long. So who's supposed to fight for Bass? Who's supposed to fight for her representation? Because I'm doing what I can do right here. I am. I'm doing what I can do right here. This platform right here, telling folks who Bass is, doing videos on Bass. I'm doing what I can about Bass. That's what I can do. But now Bass is under Wakanda. That's IP. What did the super producer do for Bass? Mr. Sexy Flexing. What did the cast and crew do for Bass? Because I know what I've done. Whose responsibility is it to elevate Bass to where more folks know who she is, so more folks could be like, damn, so you can give us Khonshu in Moon Knight, you gave us a whole nother god in Moon Knight, but we can't get Bass nowhere in Black Panther? Who responsibility is it? Is it the actress who played Bass? Is it Ryan Coogler who working with Marvel, knowing that Bass is Black Panther related? Is it Ryan Coogler because he's a Black producer, writer, director working at Marvel? Was it Nate Moore's responsibility as a Black executive? We knew to get folks to fall in love with Wakanda, they first had to fall in love with T'Challa. Who responsibility is it to elevate Bass over there at the MCU? Because damn, yeah, I didn't see it, but I was told that if you blinked, you didn't see it either. and let Grand Madam Tarot tell it, her sister was sitting right there by her, which nobody else mentions. Bass was sitting there in her human form, and her sister was sitting right there by her in her feline form. Nobody says a word. Well, who's supposed to do it then? I just felt like that. I would ask that question because we say we love that character. We say we love the actor. We say we love the actor. We say we love the character. Okay, so we still chomping at the bit to get that Chadwick Boseman movie biopic. I think that's significant. I think that's important. I think that's relevant. We did get to Hollywood. We did get to star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I was asking for that 4 or 5 years ago. Thank you. You know, I appreciate it. Good looking. We got that. Thus, when folks walk down the Hollywood Walk of Fame and they are fans of Chadwick Boseman and they walking with friends, family members, their children, they will be able to tell them Chadwick Boseman's story. Some of them may include Black Panther, but they only did that one damn movie. And let me reiterate, he wasn't in that. He didn't have more screen time in that movie. So we know Chadwick from other stuff. Draft Day. 24. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Stay on the scene. Get up. Like a sex machine. Get up. Yeah, we know him for doing stuff like that. We know him for being that detective that you couldn't fool. Yeah, shut down all the damn bridges. Yeah, it shut down all the damn bridges. And we know him to have integrity because he locked up cops. You know, your badge don't mean a damn thing. Integrity means something. You going to jail too. But wait, he's also an unselfish man. His co-star was not making that much money. Now, you think about this for a second. Who helped him out with his paycheck over there at Marvel? No, because he didn't make that much money over there at Marvel. Who helped him over there? Because he over here taking part of his paycheck to give it to a co-star. Stay with me. Did I say he was proud? You want me to know what I learned from him as a man? Oh, did I say he knew who he was? A proud African-American, God-fearing man. His female co-star wasn't Black. She wasn't Black. He did what was right. Her gender played no role. Her made-up fictional race played no role. Her ethnicity, culture played no role. Oh no, He did what was the right thing to do. Them folks over there at Marvel, this is probably why I ain't getting no job over there. Let's see here. Now Taylor says Bass should have played a more prominent role. Yes, I agree with that. What's going on, Eagles? Eagles Sixers fan, keeping it real. What's going on is in the building. Because that is Ryan Ace Boone Coon. That is what he did, which is the only reason, and that's sad. That's sad because from a storytelling standpoint, it made no sense, and we know that. And anybody, I know, because some folks get sensitive when you say stuff. Well, if you don't know what you're talking about, I don't care about you being sensitive. And I'm speaking to a certain Ascot person. And if you ain't that Ascot person, I ain't talking to you. But if you don't know what you're talking about, keep your mouth closed when grown folks is talking. And you don't have nothing to add to the you don't have nothing to add to the pot, because don't nobody care for your spices. Stay on over there. Let's see here. I think the reason why Michael B. Jordan was in Black Panther 2, this is Ronnie, where he wasn't needed is because Ryan Coogler owed Michael B. Jordan his career all the way back to movie Fruitvale Station. I mean, and I don't have anything against the friendship. I feel like I don't have anything against the friendship. I don't have anything against the loyalty. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You use it when you're supposed to. Don't make it obvious that this is what we're doing. SBC. Kimoyo says, now tell them that film was glad I didn't watch it. Kimoyo, to this day, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it too. If I had Solomon's Frog, I'm stopping myself from ever going to see that movie. Once the plot was leaked, there was no need to see it. Because you asked that question. That movie was a combination, even though what they did was a combination of Deadliest of the Species, Doom War, we're skipping Power altogether, Doom War, and Avengers versus X-Men. That's what that was. So this is why I feel the way I feel, because I know you read them. You borrowed just enough, because you didn't know how else to piece this damn story together. This is why folks probably wanted Namor in the first Black Panther movie, so you could have fast forwarded to this one. But you read them. And in reading them stories, you colonized them. You didn't respect the source material. You butchered it. Black Panther 2 wasn't no different than Flashpoint. What did you just say? I said Black Panther 2, plot-wise, was as horrible as Flashpoint. The only thing that makes Black Panther 2 worthwhile, which is effed up in and of itself, we paying tribute to Chadwick Boseman. That's what gets you in the movie theater. Folks talk about that movie, that's it. The scene. Ain't nobody talking about nothing else, because don't nothing else make no damn sense. So, yeah. Nigella says, just by reading the comments, we know whether a movie plot will work or not the very second we hear it. Thank you. That's what we did when we looked at Captain America 4. We said, wait, you finna do what? We're looking at it from a comic standpoint. We know when a comic book movie gonna do well in the movie theaters, because we're both comic book fans and movie fans. You just a movie fan, so you don't know what a successful comic book look like. Oh no, we sat there, looked at Captain America 4 and did like this. So you got the Surface Society, but not really. You got Thunderbolt Ross having interactions with Sam Wilson, and they don't interact like that in the comics. Neither does him and the leader. You got Sam with access to Wakandan tech. You didn't have Sam with access to Wakandan tech in Captain America Winter Soldier. And that's literally who designed his damn glider. You kept effing with T'Challa's origin story. You didn't think Black Panther fans would at some point in time gonna get pissed and say enough is enough. Yeah, enough is enough. But Sam is 6'2", 250. So we're not just Black Panther fans. Sam is gang affiliated been training with Cap since ever, and he keep getting his ass whooped. This is a superhero movie. Don't nobody want to really see the superheroes keep talking stuff out. No, you go to a superhero movie to see a superhero use their abilities, their skills, and or powers to whoop a villain's ass. That's what you go there for. Yeah, there can be a story in it, a moral story, but you need to see the superhero whooping the villain's ass. Think not? Did not we see Shorty clip Namer? Right. Okay. Stop acting like that. Let's see here. Kimoyo says those fake Shorty fans aren't fighting for Bass. Ain't fighting for Bass. Ain't fighting for the Queen Mother. Ain't asking why T'Challa didn't marry Nakia. Ain't said nothing about Io and Anika's relationship. Just ain't said nothing. They didn't. Ain't fighting for nobody. Ain't fighting for none of them women. Just got mad because we said we wanted the character regained. It was hot trash. Captain America 4 should have been Civil War 2 with Thunderbolts. And let me leave with this, because this, we both love the actor, right? We both love the character and the surrounding characters, right? We don't agree on what should have transpired. And then even with that statement right there, we're agreeing that that's what we disagree on. We should be able to, as cognitive thinking people, critical thinking people, we should be on the same board. At the very least, we should be wanting more in regards to Chadwick Boseman being honored, respected for playing that role. There's the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Got that. There's a movie biopic that needs to be out there. I feel that way because I believe too many have misspoken on his name. I think a movie biopic where you get quotes or you get interviews from him, past interviews, and you actually hear his words coming from him, I think that would be impactful, more meaningful in regards to his fans, in regards to the characters. The greatest lie ever told was that those who wanted T'Challa recast didn't care for Shorty. That's been a hot lie. It's always been a hot lie since day one. We want that character story told. We want that character story to unfold. And we want her to be respected no differently than they respected Pepper Potts. Yeah. No differently than, and I know some folks might feel some type of way, then they respected Natasha Romanoff. She got a whole damn movie. She did. They introduced some other characters, but you get to see who Natasha is. It's 2025 and you still don't know who Shorty is. There could have been some Disney Plus series, whether we're talking live action or animation. You could have known who Shorty is by now. Hell, if we're going to move forward to T'Challa, T'Challa Jr., Shorty could have been well on her way to becoming a griot. But because we don't respect storytelling, we've deleted the Midnight Order. Or approximate midnight now, the Black Order. We deleted the Black Order because we don't respect that. Let me see. I have a friend I call Baba, my Ghanaian father. Grand Madam Tarot. She got some. Hopefully we all did. Hopefully we should, at the end of this video, hopefully we found common ground. Hopefully. So that we can get what we deserve. You might not feel it, you might not think it. You deserve to tell the same stories with our characters that everybody else does. You absolutely do. And we waited far too long. T'Challa was created in 1966. So was Luke Cage. Well, back then. Sam Wilson was created back then. Jon Stewart was created back then. Jefferson Pierce was created back then. Vixen was created back then. Misty Knight was created back then. Monica Lynn was created back then. Hell, Aurora walked on the scene in 1980. We've been waiting too long, and we have been buying in to the ready-made excuses for why we can't have it. Meanwhile, we dig in our pockets every time they drop something, and we go spend money on it at the movie theater. We go to the merch stores and we buy the merch for characters that don't look like us. Well, we don't have to keep doing that. And that's the point. No, we have a right to what everybody else has a right to. We just have to be willing to agree on it. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Listen, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. This is my video for today. Boy, Beelzebub was busy. Want to come in, bring this to you and everything like that, and try and, you know, cross that bridge, build a bridge, become one and everything like that. Hopefully it did what it was supposed to do. That said, I'm out. In the meantime, in between time, till next time. Remember the late, great Don Cornelius, and right. I wish each and every last one of y'all love, peace, and so we out.